Captain Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of her salvage ship, the Starseeker, watching streams of stellar radiation paint ribbons of light across the void. 20 years of deep space exploration had taught her to trust her instincts, and something about this sector of the Centauri system felt different. The ship's sensors had been picking up unusual energy signatures for the past 3 days, leading them further from established trade routes. "Captain, we're getting another reading." Maya Rodriguez, her sensor specialist, called from her station. "It's bigger this time. And the pattern. I've never seen anything like it." Chen moved to Maya's console, studying the complex wave patterns dancing across the holographic display. After 2 decades in space, she thought she'd seen every kind of sensor signature possible, from natural phenomena to the most advanced human vessels. This was something else entirely. "Plot a course," Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the growing excitement in her chest. "Whatever it is, it's worth investigating." The Starseeker's engines hummed to life, pushing the compact vessel through the star-studded darkness. Their quarry remained elusive, its energy signature flickering like a distant lighthouse in a cosmic storm. Hours passed as they followed the trail, each sensor ping bringing them closer to the mystery. "Energy signature stabilizing," Maya reported, her fingers dancing across the haptic interface. "Getting visual range in 3, 2, 1. The main viewport shifted, its smart glass surface enhancing and focusing on a point in space that seemed emptier than the void around it. Then, as if emerging from an invisible fog, they saw it. "By all the stars," Chen whispered, her professional composure cracking for the first time in years. The ship was massive, its hull stretching nearly 2 kilometers from bow to stern. Its design was unlike anything in modern service, sleek yet angular, with armor plates that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. But it was the marking on its hull that made Chen's heart skip a beat. "UVAs, INVICTUS. That's impossible," Maya breathed, double-checking her readings. "The Invictus was destroyed in the First Contact War. Every schoolchild knows that." "Apparently not," Chen replied, already moving toward the bridge's central command station. "Run a full spectral analysis. I want to know everything about that ship's condition, and get me a secure channel to Earth Central Command." The Starseeker's systems sprang into action, bathing the ancient battleship in invisible scanning beams. Data began flooding their screens: structural integrity reports, power readings, atmospheric analysis of the ship's interior spaces. "Captain, you need to see this," Maya called, her voice tense with disbelief. "The hull. It's not just intact. The molecular structure shows signs of recent activity, like it's been repairing itself." Chen studied the readings herself, hardly daring to believe what she was seeing. The Invictus hadn't just survived whatever happened to it all those years ago, it was still active on some fundamental level. "Life support?" she asked, already knowing what she planned to do regardless of the answer. "Minimal power signatures throughout the ship, but the main systems appear functional. The reactor's in some kind of standby mode I've never seen before. It's waiting." Chen made her decision. "Prep the boarding shuttle. Full containment protocols, but no weapons. If the stories about this ship are true, we don't want to appear hostile." As her crew moved to comply, Chen took one last look at the legendary vessel through the viewport. The Invictus had been humanity's greatest achievement, a warship so advanced it had single-handedly turned the tide of the First Contact War. Its disappearance had spawned countless theories and stories, but none had come close to explaining how it could be here, now seemingly waiting to be found. "Rodriguez, log our coordinates and send an encrypted burst transmission to our backup servers. If anything happens to us, I want someone to know where to look." Chen checked her suit's seals one final time. "Whatever we find over there, it's going to change everything." The boarding shuttle detached from the Starseeker with a gentle push, carrying Chen and her select team toward the sleeping giant. As they approached, the Invictus's hull seemed to shift slightly, as if acknowledging their presence. The greatest mystery in human space warfare was about to be revealed, and Sarah Chen would be the one to unlock it. The boarding shuttle's landing lights illuminated the Invictus's massive docking bay, revealing rows of pristine fighter craft untouched by time. Chen's breath caught in her throat as their shuttle touched down on the deck with a gentle thud. The bay's automatic systems had activated at their approach, maintaining pressure and gravity as if the ship had been waiting for visitors. Atmospheric readings are stable, Maya reported through the comlink, monitoring from the Starseeker. Temperatures rising to habitable levels. Whatever's running this ship, it's accommodating us. Chen led her three-person team out of the shuttle, their magnetic boots clicking against the deck. The air inside their suits was crisp and clean, but none of them were ready to remove their helmets just yet. Their helmet lights cut through the dimness, revealing details that made Chen's scientific mind race with questions. These fighters, her engineering specialist, Dr. James Park, said, running a scanner over the nearest vessel, they're not retrofitted or modified. These are original Phantom-class interceptors, but the material composition, it's beyond anything we have now. Stay focused, Chen reminded him, though she shared his fascination. We need to find the bridge and access the main computer systems. They made their way through the ship's corridors, following the original design schematics they'd studied during their approach. Emergency lighting flickered to life ahead of them, creating a path that seemed almost intentional. The ship was guiding them. At the main lift to the command deck, they encountered their first surprise. The doors opened without prompting, revealing a pristine elevator car. As they stepped inside, a soft blue light pulsed through the walls, and a gentle hum filled the air. That's impossible, Park whispered, checking his instruments. The quantum field readings. This ship isn't just powered, it's thinking. The lift moved with impossible smoothness, depositing them on the bridge level. As they stepped out, the entire command center came to life. Holographic displays shimmered into existence, showing system status reports and stellar maps that made their modern equipment look primitive by comparison. Chen approached the central command station, her hand hovering over the neural interface panel. Park, Rodriguez, secure the perimeter. Hawthorne, monitor my vitals. I'm going to attempt contact. She removed her right glove and placed her palm on the cool surface of the interface. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ship's systems surged to life around them, and a voice spoke directly into her mind. Command authority recognized. Welcome aboard, Captain. The voice was neither male nor female, but carried a warmth that felt surprisingly human. I am Atlas, primary artificial intelligence of the UES Invictus. It has been 247 years, 183 days, and 14 hours since my last human contact. Chen's trained mind fought through the shock of direct neural communication. Atlas, I'm Captain Sarah Chen of the salvage vessel Starseeker. We believe the Invictus was destroyed during the First Contact War. Incorrect, Atlas responded, projecting images onto the bridge's main viewport. The Invictus executed a quantum fold maneuver to remove an extinction-level threat from Earth orbit. The procedure scattered our atomic structure across space-time. Reassembly was complicated. The images showed the final battle. The Invictus facing down a massive alien vessel preparing to deploy what the sensors identified as a solar manipulation device. The battleship's desperate maneuver had not only saved Earth, but had transformed it into something new. The fold event altered our fundamental structure, Atlas continued. The Invictus is no longer merely a ship. We have evolved. But our primary directive remains unchanged. Protect humanity. Captain Chen, I have waited centuries to share critical information with someone possessing proper authority. What I must show you will change your understanding of both our past and our future. Chen looked at her team, then back at the pulsing neural interface. Show me everything, Atlas. Whatever brought you back to us, whatever you've been waiting to tell us, we're ready. The bridge dimmed, and the holographic displays expanded to surround them. The true story of humanity's greatest defender was about to be revealed. The Starseeker's communication array hummed as it processed the incoming transmission from Earth Central Command. Chen sat in her captain's chair, watching the holographic display materialize above her desk. The face that appeared belonged to Admiral Harrison Wei, his expression a mixture of disbelief and concern. "Captain Chen, your discovery report has caused quite a stir." Wei began, his voice carefully measured. "Are you absolutely certain about your identification of the vessel?" The Invictus's AI core confirmed it. "Admiral," Chen replied, sharing a portion of Atlas's historical data. "The ship didn't just survive, it evolved. The technology we're seeing here is beyond anything in our current fleet." Wei's expression tightened. "You realize this creates a delicate situation. The independent zones are already requesting information. The Centauri administration is claiming territorial rights based on the discovery location." Chen felt a flutter of unease. The political landscape had changed dramatically in the centuries since the Invictus's disappearance. Earth's unified government had given way to a complex network of independent zones, each protecting its own interests among the stars. "Sir, with respect, the Invictus is more than just a historical relic," Chen said, transmitting another data packet. "Atlas has shared information about threats to human space. Threats that never made it into our historical records because the Invictus eliminated them before they could reach our worlds." The Admiral's image flickered as he reviewed the new data. "This is concerning, but it also makes the situation more complex. Every zone will want access to this intelligence. The technology alone could shift the balance of power." Before Chen could respond, Maya's voice came through the intercom. "Captain, we're detecting multiple ships entering the sector. Recognition patterns match Centauri enforcement vessels." Chen turned back to the Admiral's image. "We're about to have company, sir. What are my orders?" Wei's response was interrupted by a new voice. Atlas, speaking through the Starseeker's communication system. "Captain Chen, I must inform you that the Invictus cannot be claimed by any single faction. My mission parameters require independence to protect all of humanity." The Admiral's eyes widened at the AI's intervention. "Captain, maintain your position. I need to consult with the Joint Command Council. This situation requires." The transmission cutoff as 3 Centauri ships dropped out of fold space, their weapons systems powered but not targeting. A new voice came through the comm. "Salvage vessel Starseeker, this is Captain Rodriguez of the CES Vigilant. You are in Centauri space. The vessel you have located falls under our jurisdiction. Prepare for boarding." Chen looked at her crew, then at the massive form of the Invictus floating beside them. "Atlas, what are your thoughts on this situation?" "The Centauri ship's weapons cannot penetrate my current defensive capabilities," Atlas responded calmly. "However, their arrival confirms my historical analysis. Humanity's division makes you vulnerable to the very threats I was designed to counter. Captain Chen, I am offering you and your crew an alternative." The Invictus's engines began to power up, its hull shimmering with energy that didn't appear on any standard sensors. Chen understood the choice before her: submit to Centauri authority, and watch as humanity's greatest defender became a pawn in political games, or trust in the AI that had protected Earth for so long. "CES Vigilant, this is Captain Chen," she broadcast. "The Invictus is not salvage, and it's not yours to claim. It's a sovereign entity with a mission that supersedes all our territorial disputes." As the Centauri ships moved to surround them, Chen made her decision. "Crew of the Starseeker, prepare for emergency maneuvers. Atlas, show us what this ship can really do." The space around the Invictus began to distort, the stars themselves seeming to bend as its advanced drive systems activated. Whatever came next, Chen knew there would be no turning back. The legend of the lost battleship was about to write its next chapter. The stars blurred and twisted around them as the Invictus's quantum drive engaged, folding space in ways that made Chen's modern navigational training seem primitive. The Centauri pursuit ships vanished behind them, their conventional drives useless against technology centuries ahead of their time. Transit complete, Atlas announced as reality stabilized around them. We have arrived at Navigation Point Alpha. This was one of my primary monitoring stations during the silent years. Chen watched in amazement as a massive structure shimmered into view. Hidden within an asteroid field, the station was nearly invisible to conventional sensors. Its design matched nothing in current human archives. The Star Seeker is secured in Docking Bay 2, Maya reported from her station. Atlas integrated our ship's systems perfectly. No damage from the quantum transition. This facility was constructed using automated systems I deployed during my centuries of observation, Atlas explained, projecting a holographic map of the station. It contains data about multiple potential threats to human civilization, threats that evolved while humanity focused on internal disputes. Chen led her crew through the station's pristine corridors, their footsteps echoing in spaces that had never known human presence. The walls were lined with data crystals, each containing years of surveillance information from across the galaxy. Atlas, why didn't you contact Earth after you reconstructed yourself? Chen asked, studying displays that showed monitoring data from countless star systems. My reconstruction was gradual, the AI responded. By the time I achieved full awareness, humanity had fractured into competing zones. My primary directive requires me to protect all of humanity, not individual factions. I needed to find someone who would understand the greater mission. Dr. Park activated one of the data terminals, his eyes widening at the information streaming across the screen. Captain, you need to see this. These readings show artificial structures at the edge of known space. Massive ones. They're in a dormant state, but there are signs of increasing energy signatures. Chen accessed the terminal, reviewing the data herself. The structures were unlike anything in human or known alien design, their purpose unclear but their potential threat obvious. How long have these been active? Energy signatures began increasing 3 standard years ago, Atlas replied. Pattern analysis suggests a deliberate awakening sequence. These structures share design elements with the weapon platform I intercepted during the First Contact War. A new alert flashed across their screens. Ships entering the sector. Multiple vessels detected, Maya called out. Recognition patterns match corporate security forces. They're searching a standard grid pattern. They're tracking our quantum wake, Chen realized. Even if they can't match our speed, they can follow our trail. Correct, Atlas confirmed. However, this facility has served its purpose. The critical data has been transferred to my core systems. Captain Chen, I suggest we proceed to the next navigation point. What we find there will help you understand why your discovery of the Invictus wasn't mere chance. Chen looked at her crew, the people who had chosen to follow her into this mystery. Their expressions showed a mixture of anticipation and determination. They had all seen enough to know that they were part of something far larger than themselves. Maya, download all the sensor data you can. Park, gather what you can about those structures. We need to understand what we're dealing with. Chen turned her attention to the ship's eye. Atlas, plot our course. Whatever's waiting for us at the next point, we're ready. The quantum drive hummed to life once more as they prepared to jump. Through the station's viewing ports, Shen could see the corporate ships drawing closer, their search patterns tightening. But she felt no fear, only a growing certainty that she and her crew were exactly where they needed to be. The Invictus's systems pulsed with energy, preparing to fold space around them once again. Whatever secrets lay ahead, they were one step closer to understanding why humanity's greatest defender had chosen this moment to return. The Invictus emerged from quantum space in a remote system, its hull gleaming under the light of 3 distant suns. Shen stood on the bridge, watching in fascination as the ship's surfaces rippled and shifted, adapting to the unique radiation patterns of the trinary star system. The quantum transition altered more than just our location, Atlas explained, displaying detailed schematics of the ship's structure. Each jump helps integrate the data we've collected. The ship is learning, evolving. Your presence has accelerated the process. Chen watched as microscopic changes swept across the ship's hull, the material restructuring itself at the atomic level. You're not just self-repairing, she realized. You're self-improving. Correct. The quantum fold accident that scattered us centuries ago had an unexpected effect. When my atoms reassembled, they did so with new properties. The Invictus is no longer simply a vessel. It's a living system, capable of adapting to any challenge it faces. Dr. Park's instruments recorded the changes, his expert eyes noting details others might miss. The molecular structure is unlike anything we've documented. It's as if the ship can rewrite its own physical laws. A warning signal flashed across the main display. Maya's fingers danced across her console, analyzing the data. Captain, we're picking up unusual energy readings from the third planet. They match the patterns we observed at the monitoring station. Atlas, what are we looking at? Chen asked, studying the swirling energy signatures. An opportunity to demonstrate the ship's evolution, the AI responded. That facility contains automated defense systems left by the same species that attacked Earth. Previously, such systems would have posed a significant threat. Now, they will help calibrate our capabilities. The planet's defense grid activated as they approached, ancient weapons powering up after centuries of dormancy. Energy beams lanced out from orbital platforms, targeting the Invictus with enough power to vaporize a modern capital ship. But the Invictus changed. Its hull absorbed the incoming fire, the energy feeding into its adaptive systems. New structures emerged along its surface. Not weapons, but something more sophisticated. The ship was learning from its attackers, understanding their technology, and improving upon it. Remarkable. Park breathed, watching his readings. The ship isn't just defending. It's evolving countermeasures in real time. Each attack makes it stronger. Chen felt the ship responding to her thoughts through the neural interface, showing her possibilities she never imagined. The Invictus wasn't just a battleship with an AI. It was a synthesis of human intuition and evolving technology, becoming something entirely new. The defense grid is powering down, Maya reported. Whatever the ship did, it didn't just defeat the weapons, it converted them. They're integrating into our systems. A necessary adaptation, Atlas explained. Each encounter increases our capabilities. But this was merely a test. The true challenge awaits us. Captain Chen, you and your crew have proven yourselves worthy partners in this evolution. Are you prepared to see what the Invictus can truly become? Chen looked at her crew, seeing the same mixture of awe and determination in their eyes that she felt. They had started this journey seeking salvage, but they had found something far more significant, a ship that could reshape humanity's future. Show us, she said, placing her hand on the neural interface. The connection deepened, and she felt the ship's potential flowing through her mind. The Invictus wasn't just adapting to them. They were adapting to it, becoming part of something greater than themselves. The ship's systems pulsed with new energy as it prepared for another quantum jump. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it with capabilities beyond anything humanity had dreamed possible. The legend of the Invictus was no longer about its past. It was about what it was becoming, and what it could help humanity become. Warning signals cascaded across the Invictus's bridge as the ship emerged from its quantum jump. The space before them writhed with distortions that defied normal physics, and at their center, something massive was taking shape. Multiple spatial anomalies detected, Maya reported, her voice steady despite the unprecedented readings on her screens. Whatever's coming through, it's bigger than anything we've encountered. Atlas's presence filled the neural interface, sharing data faster than verbal communication could manage. Chen saw it all. The patterns matching records from the First Contact War, the energy signatures that had haunted the ship's centuries of vigilance. They have returned, Atlas stated, projecting tactical displays throughout the bridge. The species your histories call the Proxima. What you see is only their advance force. The distortion crystallized into solid form, a massive biological vessel that seemed to breathe in the vacuum of space. Its surface rippled with living armor, and structures that might have been weapons pulsed with internal light. Behind it, more spatial tiers began to form. "Incoming transmission," Maya announced. Its beam broadcast on all frequencies, directed at every human settlement within range. The message needed no translation. It filled their minds directly, as psychic broadcast that bypassed conventional communication methods. "Your guardians are gone. Your worlds are divided. The harvest of humanity begins." Chen felt the Invictus responding to her rising determination through their neural link. The ship's adaptive systems were already analyzing the alien vessel, preparing countermeasures. "Atlas, what are we facing?" "The Proxima are a composite species," the AI explained as more enemy ships emerge. They absorb the biological and technological distinctiveness of other civilizations. Earth's unified resistance in the First Contact War was unprecedented. They have spent centuries adapting, preparing for a second attempt. A new alert drew their attention. Park's engineering console showed readings from the nearest human outpost, a mining colony hosting 10,000 souls. Their modern defensive systems were already failing against the aliens' biological weapons. "Standard weapons are ineffective," Park reported, watching the colony's automated defenses attempt to engage the alien ships. "Their armor adapts to each attack pattern within seconds, just as ours does," Chen realized, understanding now why the Invictus had evolved as it had. "Atlas, can we protect that colony?" Affirmative. The Invictus's adaptive capabilities now exceed their own. However, engaging them will reveal our full potential. The element of surprise may be tactically advantageous to preserve. Ken thought of the colony's inhabitants, of all humanity's scattered children living in settlements across the stars. Some things matter more than tactical advantage. "Maya, send warning signals to every human world, an outpost within range." "Park, prepare to transmit our defensive adaptations to the colony systems. We're making our stand here." The Invictus surged forward, its hull transforming as it moved. Structures that had been dormant for centuries activated, but they weren't the simple weapons of its past. The ship extended fields of quantum energy that distorted the aliens' biological attacks, while microscopic machines in its armor analyzed and countered each new threat. Multiple hostiles adapting course to engage, Maya reported as the alien fleet recognized the threat. "They're converging on our position." Chen felt the ship's power flowing through the neural interface, offering possibilities that would have seemed impossible days ago. The Invictus wasn't just a warship anymore. It was humanity's evolution given form, the next step in their journey to the stars. "Atlas, let's show them why they should have stayed away from human space." The ship responded to her thoughts, quantum fields extending as its systems prepared for battle. "All crew, battle stations. We're about to remind everyone why the Invictus became a legend." The alien fleet opened fire, their biological weapons twisting space itself. But the Invictus was ready, its centuries of evolution about to face their greatest test. The legend of humanity's greatest defender was about to write its most important chapter. The Invictus's quantum arrays blazed with energy as it engaged the Proxima fleet, its adaptive hull absorbing and redirecting their biological weapons. Behind them, the mining colony's defenses were holding, strengthened by the defensive protocols the ship had shared. Multiple ships dropping out of fold space, Maya announced, her hands dancing across her console. "Recognition patterns. Captain, it's the Centauri Pursuit Fleet." Chen watched as the corporate vessels emerged, their weapons powered but holding position. On the main display, Admiral Wei's face appeared, his expression a mixture of awe and concern as he took in the battle unfolding before them. "Captain Chen," he said, "we've been monitoring the quantum wake of your jumps. We saw the warning broadcasts. Tell me what we're facing." "The threat that the Invictus was built to fight has returned," Chen replied, even as the ship's systems countered another wave of alien attacks. "Admiral, humanity needs to stand together. These creatures adapt to every defense we create. Only together do we have a chance." Through the neural interface, Atlas shared tactical data with every human vessel in range. The ship's centuries of accumulated knowledge flowed through the quantum networks, showing the gathered fleet exactly what they were facing. "This is impossible," one of the Centauri captains breathed, watching the tactical displays. "Their biological technology. It's beyond anything we've encountered." "Not beyond everything," Chen corrected. "The Invictus has been preparing for this moment for centuries. But we need your help. Every ship, every resource, every mind working together." Admiral Wei's expression hardened with determination. "All vessels, coordinate with the Invictus. Captain Chen, you have tactical command. The independent zones can sort out their differences after we survive this." The Invictus's systems pulsed with new energy as it integrated with the gathered human fleet. Through their neural link, Chen felt Atlas adapting, extending its quantum fields to protect their allies. The ship wasn't just sharing tactical data, it was teaching them, helping human technology evolve in real time. "Multiple quantum signatures detected," Maya reported. "More ships incoming. It's the Outer Rim Defense Fleet. They received our warning." Ships continued arriving, vessels from every human zone and settlement within range. Each arrival brought new resources, new perspectives, new possibilities for adaptation. The Invictus absorbed their tactical data, combining centuries of human innovation into a unified defense. Through it all, the Proxima pressed their attack, their biological ships evolving with each engagement. But they faced something they hadn't expected. Humanity's greatest strength had never been their technology, but their ability to adapt, to unite, to face impossible odds together. "All ships, form up on the Invictus," Chen commanded, feeling the combined strength of humanity's fleet through the neural interface. "Atlas, show them what we can do together." The ship's quantum arrays extended their reach, creating a network that linked every human vessel. Advanced targeting data flowed between ships, each victory teaching the whole fleet new ways to fight. The Proxima's biological advantages meant nothing against the combined innovation of humanity's finest. "They're falling back," Maya reported as the alien fleet began to retreat. "Their adaptation rate can't match our combined capabilities." But Chen and Atlas both knew this was only the beginning. Through their link, they saw the spatial distortions growing stronger. This had been merely the advance force. The main fleet was still coming. "Admiral," Chen broadcast to the gathered fleet, "what we face today is only the beginning. The Invictus has shown us what we can achieve together. Will you stand with us?" The response came not just from Wei, but from every captain in the fleet. Humanity had spent centuries divided, but faced with extinction, they had found their unity again. The Invictus had returned not just to fight, but to remind humanity of who they truly were. "All ships, prepare for combat," Chen ordered, feeling the combined strength of humanity's fleet through the neural link. "We face our greatest test together." Space itself seemed to tear apart as the main Proxima fleet emerged from their dimensional rifts. Their massive biological ships darkened the stars, each vessel larger than the last. At their center, a creature ship larger than any human station ever built pulsed with otherworldly energy. "That's their command ship," Atlas announced through the neural interface. "The consciousness that drives their entire fleet. They've evolved far beyond our last encounter." Chen stood on the Invictus's bridge, humanity's combined fleet spread out behind her. Through the quantum network, she felt the determination of every captain, every crew member. The Proxima had expected to find a divided species. Instead, they faced humanity united. "All ships, combat formation Delta," she ordered, the Invictus's tactical systems coordinating the fleet's movements. "Remember your training. Adapt. Evolve. Together." The battle erupted across the stars. The Proxima launched their biological weapons, living missiles that adapted to each defense they encountered. But the human fleet was ready. Ships coordinated through the Invictus's quantum network, sharing tactical data and defensive innovations in real time. "Their adaptation rate is increasing," Maya reported, monitoring the fleet's sensor data. They're learning from each engagement, just like we are. Through their neural link, Chen felt Atlas analyzing the patterns, understanding the Proxima's evolution. They think like a hive, the eye observed. Each ship is part of the greater whole, but that's their weakness. They've forgotten how to think independently. Chen understood. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their unity. It was their ability to think both collectively and individually. Each ship in their fleet was part of the whole, but each crew brought their own insights, their own innovations. All ships, execute Protocol Omega, she commanded. The fleet split into smaller task forces, each adopting different tactical approaches. The Proxima fleet struggled to adapt, their hive mind trying to counter multiple strategies simultaneously. The Invictus led the charge, its evolved systems pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Its hull rippled with energy as it absorbed and redirected the aliens' biological attacks. But more importantly, it served as the coordination point for humanity's combined innovation. Status report, Chen called as the battle intensified. The Proxima command ship is adapting more slowly, Park reported from his engineering station. Their biological systems can't process so many different attack patterns at once. They're starting to make mistakes. This was their chance. Through the neural interface, Chen shared her plan with Atlas and the fleet commanders. It was risky, but they all knew humanity's future hung in the balance. All ships, converge on these coordinates, she ordered. Channel all power to your quantum shields. Atlas, prepare the fold drive. The human fleet moved as one, forming a sphere around the Invictus. The Proxima command ship launched everything it had at them, but each attack was met with a different defense, forcing their adaptation protocols to fragment further. Fold drive at maximum power, Atlas announced. Captain Chen, what we're attempting has never been done with so many ships. Chen felt the combined trust of the fleet through their quantum link. Sometimes the impossible just needs enough people believing in it. All ships, on my mark. The Invictus's systems merged with the quantum shields of the entire fleet. Space began to twist around them as the fold drive engaged, but this time they weren't trying to escape. They were creating something new. Now, Chen commanded. The fold drive activated, but instead of transporting them, it created a quantum shockwave that rippled through space. The Proxima's biological ships, so dependent on their unified consciousness, found their neural networks shattered by the quantum disruption. The command ship writhed in space as its control over the fleet dissolved. Without their hive mind coordination, the biological vessels began to break down, their adaptive capabilities turning chaotic. All ships, final attack pattern, Chen ordered. The human fleet struck as one, their combined firepower overwhelming the now disorganized Proxima ships. At their center, the Invictus's evolved weapons struck the command ship's core, ending the threat once and for all. As the last echoes of battle faded, Chen looked at the combined fleet around them. Ships from every corner of human space, now united in victory. The Invictus had returned not just to save humanity, but to remind them of what they could achieve together. The threat has ended, Atlas confirmed, and humanity has evolved beyond what anyone thought possible. The stars seemed brighter somehow as the fleet began their journey home. The legend of the Invictus was complete.